Thank you. Thank you very much. And I will answer your question. The very first question you asked. I would say, you asked me to explain to fellow principal officers what motivates, what drives the level of consistency is the promise of Elohim. I will take you back to what David Ben-Gurion said, the very first Prime Minister of Israel. What he said when they asked him at the floor of the United Nations what propels him to create, or should I say, to facilitate the coming of the state of Israel. He said it is the promise of God in the Holy Book. You call it the Bible, we call it the Torah. That was what David Ben-Gurion, they asked him, why are you doing what you're doing? He said it is because he is standing on the promise of the Almighty Creator of the universe, that Israel must come. And on the same, should I say, pronouncement, I anchor my very firm belief in the coming of Biafra. I told you before that I read a book, or should I say a pamphlet, 1985 Ajoko lecture, delivered by Professor Donatusi Benwoga. I was traveling from Umuahia to Owerri. I was in a Hayas bus, and I was reading that very pamphlet. I'm not going to tell you how, of course, you can work out how old I was in 1985. I think I then barely turned between 17 and 18 years of age. I read that very pamphlet, and it had a very profound effect on me. In that very lecture that Professor Donatusi Benwoga delivered, in that man, in one paragraph, summarized what was happening to us as a people, because every 1 kilometer was a checkpoint. Extortion, harassment, intimidation, and from childhood, I never wanted anybody to be maltreated. I hate it. I hate injustice from childhood. And what we are doing today, what I'm doing today, is a manifestation of that very orientation that I had. You know, in my house, we used to have a lot of helpers, you know, either people from my mother's side or people from my father's side that will come to help, you know, as house help, you know, help, all the rest of it. I had one. He's now in Newport, and I'm sure he's listening to this very day. His name is Emmanuel. Roughly about the same age as me, he came from my mother's side to help us in our house. We had a very huge household, so to help with the chores. We went to fetch water together. We ate from the same pot. We wear the same clothes. Sometimes we exchange clothes. During holiday time, I would go to his house for holidays. He was not serving me. I wasn't serving him, because I did not believe that another person's child should come to serve another person's child. I don't believe in that. Even at that very small early age, I believed in the equality of all men and women before God Almighty in heaven. I hated injustice. I read a lot of books. At the age of 12, I read George Orwell's Animal Farm, where some animals were bigger or greater than the others. I hated it. And at the age of 12 years old, I despised communism and socialism. At the age of 12, can you believe that? At the age of 12, I hated communism. Of course, I was at Government College Umuahia, where we were encouraged to read. And we read George Orwell's Animal Farm in class 2. Now, I want to tell you that you must have it in you to love your people. It is not something you are taught to do. You must have it inside you to love and to serve your people. If you are living in India, and India is doing very well, people are living in Malaysia, living across the whole of Southeast Asia, and that those countries are doing very well. If you want to live there without replicating those things back home, that is making you to enjoy life in those places, that means you're an evil person you shouldn't serve. Allow me to repeat. If you travel to America, you travel to Europe, you see skyscrapers, you see wonderful roads, you see beautiful bridges and beautiful houses, you fail to bring it back, or you fail to think, how can I take these things back to Zombe? That means you are not cut out to serve your people. Because as a servant of your people, anywhere you see something good, you want to bring it back to your own people. Therefore, those who are called into service, are those who are naturally made and built for this very calling. But it is very, very, I understand what you're saying is very difficult. Sometimes it's very hard. Our people can be very, very frustrating. Do not look at people. Look at the end goal. Always focus on the objective: freedom, freedom, freedom for everybody. When Biafra does come, of course it's going to come. When it does come, eventually, let me tell you how I console myself sometimes. Look at the way we revere, we love, and we venerate Ojukwu. And he did not get us Biafra. Look at the way we love and venerate Timothy Onwatuegwu and all those that fought. Imagine the love we have for Colonel Achuzie and all the rest of them. The love we have for Nwobosi and all the rest of them. Remember the love we have for the lives of Madiebo and all the rest of them. Did they get Biafra for us? The answer is no. Now imagine what will happen to your name when Biafra comes. Forever, you see the way that the Bible till today, have you forgotten about Moses, Joshua, Caleb? Have you forgotten them? You have not. These are people that fought and released Israel, the children of God, to inhabit the land that God gave to them. Till today, we remember them. Let me tell you the truth, honestly, before heaven and this earth, anybody who is part of this very movement, from the highest to the lowest, there will be a time when your grandchildren will go to school, or your great-great-grandchildren will go to, they will ask them, was your mom or dad part of IPOB? That will be all you will require in life to succeed. In other words, if you're serving IPOB, if you are in IPOB, you are preparing yourselves for immortality. This flesh may die, but your name will live forever and ever. Because we appreciate. Let me tell you, there is something our people don't know. Despite our stubbornness, our high-headedness, our sometimes very difficult way of understanding each other or doing things, our people are very, very appreciative of those that serve them in truth and in every honesty. That is who we are. Our people never forget those that serve them honestly and diligently. The same way we remember Mbakwe till today. Who is going to forget Dr. Michael Okpara? It's impossible. That is who we are. We never forget those that serve us in truth. We know that Okpara served us in truth and in every honesty. He built our land. We know that Mbakwe came, exactly what I told you before. What is it that Okpara and Mbakwe have in common? They went abroad, they saw good things abroad, and they brought it back home. Why do you think that Malaysia is developed? If you're a minister in Malaysia, you travel abroad, you didn't bring back any idea, they will sack you. That means your trip abroad is a waste. What did you learn? Bring it back here. Let us replicate it. What you're doing and other principal officers all over the world is building up what I call an identity of immortality. Forever and ever, your lineage, your children will be remembered and celebrated. Can you imagine if today somebody were to come to you to say, I am from the lineage of Joshua, or from the lineage of Moses? I'm sure even if you're sitting there, you will stand up to greet them. Something that money can never buy. When you remember all these things, then you redouble your effort, because you're not working for any man. You are working to fulfill the promise of the creator of the universe. The promise that God made, you are bringing it to life. What you're doing is beyond human understanding. What IPOB is doing, man cannot understand it. Because we are bringing down or calling down the kingdom of heaven upon this very earth, as Yeshua prayed. Let thy will be done on this earth as it is in heaven. Thank you very much. Let's take this call. The caller on the line, can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from, please?
Yes.